Hi, friends. Today I want to really focus on what Christ did for us on the cross and the glory that he not only revealed but bestowed on us. In Exodus chapter 3, we see Christ, or manifestation, a pre-incarnate manifestation of the angel of God, which many theologians feel was Jesus, in a burning bush appearing to Moses in the desert of Midian. And Moses sees this bush burning and he becomes very interested in why it's not consumed. And so he grows closer to the bush, and this angel speaks to him from within the bush that's on fire and tells him to come closer, and he calls him to be a deliverer to the slaves in Egypt. And he also says to Moses, take your shoes off because the ground that you are standing upon is holy. I never really understood this passage for a very long time, or what it signified actually till more recently. And it's incredibly beautiful when you see what God is trying to communicate through this passage. And you really don't understand it until you look at the original Hebrew word for bush that is translated here. And it comes from the word sina, which means a prickly thorn bush. Really, literally, it is a thorn bush. And when they translated the Old Testament into Greek, the Septuagint, that word that is translated there also is a prickly bush or a thorn bush. So we see the angel of the Lord talking to Moses, and in that thorn bush, he is declaring a call, and it's not burned up. It's significant because when we move to the cross scene, we see Jesus pierced on the cross with nails, but they actually made him king by putting a crown of thorns upon his head. When we look in the garden scene when Adam and Eve fell, after they sinned, God proclaimed a curse on the ground, and he said that the ground from that point on would produce thorns and thistles, and they would toil till the day they died working to produce food to eat. The ground was cursed as a result of their sin. And I just find it's so wonderful that on the cross, Christ became the curse. We find this actually in Galatians chapter 3, verse 13. It says, Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law, being made a curse for us. For it is written, cursed is everyone that hangs on the tree. So Jesus actually became the very essence of the curse upon the ground, which was that we were going to be dealing with the difficulties with these weeds that were going to be very painful. He not only took that curse away on the cross forever, but he became it by wearing it and actually being hung upon a tree. And so when he called Moses, what's so beautiful is he tells him, Moses, take off your shoes because the ground that you're standing on is holy. So what he was saying to Moses, I believe, was that the ground was not cursed anymore because he was absorbing the curse upon himself by actually absorbing that thorn actually destiny that we had, that Paul talks about, the thorn in the flesh. We all are dealing with that in this life, but not for eternity. The days will end, and Christ has removed the wrath of God from us by absorbing that wrath on the cross. He weathered that storm for us, and because he did, he, in essence, um, removed any curse that would last forever for us to have to deal with. And he, in the exchange, calls us, like he calls Moses, to be the extension of his love to the world here, and to actually deliver people by telling them the decision that they have to make in receiving what he did on the cross. It's a beautiful picture, isn't it? When we remember Calvary today, Good Friday, that he became the curse. He actually, in essence, absorbed that upon himself on the cross. And in that moment when he hung on that tree 2,000 years ago, he was thinking about you. He was thinking about the hope before him and an eternity with you when you choose him. And not only can he redeem this life and change what we're going through for good, but when you make that decision, he actually absorbs the fire, the all-consuming fire of God's wrath upon himself, and you are not burned. We see Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the book of Daniel being thrown into a fiery furnace because they refused to bow to the image that Nebuchadnezzar puts up. What's so incredibly marvelous is that they are not burned by that fire. And the king sees in the fire not 3 men, but 4 men, and one of them looks like, to him, a son of God. It was indeed Jesus Christ walking with those 3 men who refused to bow to idols, and they were not consumed by the fire because the Lord was protecting them. I think the imagery is similar to what Moses witnessed in Christ being Lord of the curse. He is Lord over the curse, and he is Lord to take you through the curse. We see David saying, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I won't fear any evil because you are with me. He's with you right now. He hung on that cross thinking about you and wanting you to receive him. And so I encourage you, as you are meditating on what he's done, what he has perfected, what he has finished on Calvary, to give to him all of those things that in your past, the hurts, the frustrations, the confusion, the trials, and let him actually exchange them for his glory, because that's what he wants to do through the cross.